Okay, so I think we are now live. Welcome everybody who's here. Welcome, hi. We'll just wait for the participants to come through. There's a few coming in now. Hi everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We'll just give it a couple of seconds, let everybody come through. Me and Bradley might finish chatting about our cat chats that we were doing a minute ago. It's nice to see that me and Bradley are also coordinated. I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
Both got the memo.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right, well, thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining us. Welcome to Peek and Poke's first webinar, Creating Connections at Christmas. I know we're a bit late to this party, but we've been looking for something that would create some real value. So that's why we have Bradley with us today. Thank you so much for joining me, Bradley.
No, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
I'm excited. We're excited to do this. So before we get into it, just a few housekeeping things. The chat is open. So if you want to just give us a little wave so we can make sure that everything is as it should be, that you can see us, that you can hear us. Tell us who you are, tell us where you're watching from, tell us what you had for lunch. The Q&A is also open. So me and Bradley will have a chat today about the Kwik Fit Christmas campaign. We'll talk about their objectives, how the process went, and we'll have a look at some results as well. So before we get onto that, for those of you who are new to Peek and Poke, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background story about who we are. I'll keep this very brief because I know that we're all here for Bradley. So Peek and Poke, we make games for brands, essentially. So we have a suite of game engines that we have developed, which are made to engage your audience, create lasting connections with them, to generate leads, and as great Christmas campaigns, as you're going to find out shortly. So companies that we work for across the board, we have B2B companies that we work with, B2C companies, and then of course we have Kwik Fit too. So with all of that out of the way, why don't we say hello to Bradley?
Hello.
Hi. And why don't we start with a little bit about Kwik Fit, what they do. I'm sure everybody knows, but if you could give us a bit of a rundown and what you do there, what your role is.
Yeah, of course. So I like to think Kwik Fit is quite a well-established brand. Hopefully everyone here will have heard of us. For anyone that hasn't, we are the UK's leading automotive repair garage. We have over 600 centres across the UK. We specialise in tyres, servicing, MOTs, windscreen wipers, batteries, brakes, anything car related essentially. You can come and get fixed at Kwik Fit. My role within the company is digital content executive, and so as the title suggests, I look after a lot of digital content, from product listings, making sure all of our product catalogue online is up to date with the correct imagery, correct details, information pages on our website, blogs with the latest changes in the automotive industry, anything topical. There was a lot of things with, obviously, the changes with COVID, MOTs were extended, several things like that. So we like to keep on top of everything like that online, and yeah, any kind of web development as well, support with that.
A varied role then.
Yeah, a lot of variety.
And how long have you been at Kwik Fit, Bradley?
I started in January 2020, so I'm coming up to 2 years. It will be at the end of this year.
Okay, so you've seen the company through the pandemic as well then.
Yeah, that was a challenging time, should we say.
Yes, indeed.
I was glad to have a couple of months, to be fair, in the office before the real changes with COVID came in and everyone had to work from home and everything like that. I was fortunate enough to sort of get to know everyone face to face first, which I think was a real benefit. I would have struggled a lot more if I hadn't been able to see people in person first and get to know them a bit before we went fully virtual.
Yeah, of course. And then what about the kind of brand priorities as you went through that shift then? How did that change?
Well, I'd say we always have a focus on safety due to the nature of what we do. We're encouraging people to have the most grip possible on their tyres, get regular MOTs, get service to make sure their cars are as safe as possible. But even more so, I would say our focus shifted to a pure safety focus through COVID. Everyone was working from home wherever it was possible. Obviously, for our technicians and mechanics in the garage, that isn't strictly possible, but we introduced more COVID regulations, more cleaning regulations, sort of screens up to separate customers from staff wherever possible. But yeah, we were fortunate to be able to remain open the whole time to keep key workers on the road, essentially, because obviously without garages like ourselves and our competitors, the actual ambulance drivers, the police, any key workers, teachers might not have been able to get to where they needed to be. So we were fortunate to stay open throughout that.
Of course, very important role. So let's have a think about the campaigns then. That kind of leads us up to why we're here today to talk about the Christmas campaign. Now, guys, you might have guessed that Kwik Fit did a game, but why don't you tell us the lead up to that, what the thought process was in the wider campaign?
Yeah, so well, we have done games before, but we were looking to make something that was probably a bit more engaging than things we'd had before. By the time, obviously, it rolled around, we'd been living with COVID for some time. We were going back into lockdowns again, sort of this time last year. And we just wanted to give people a kind of an experience, essentially. Our whole theme was to bring a Christmas party to home, because it wasn't going to be possible for almost anyone to go to an actual party and to celebrate that Christmas. And so, yeah, we wanted to incorporate a bit of fun and also give back to people with a few incentives to play the game. Yeah,
I think that's a really nice and I think something that we saw a lot of brands do as well, just try to bring a bit of fun and a bit of joy to kind of keep those conversations going in a light way as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That. Cool. So let's have a look then at the game itself. You can kind of talk us through what you did and how you kind of customized one of our game engines. So let me just press play on this video and then you can talk us through it.
Awesome. Look at that masterpiece.
I love it. It's one of my favorite games. If anybody used to have, the old Nokia phones, Snake was very similar to this, and I spent a lot of my youth playing Snake.
Yeah, well, that was probably a factor in how we came to choose this as our game, to be fair. It was playing through the sample games on peek&poke's website. This stuck out, and like you say, my very first phone was a Nokia, and I remember playing this way before the App Store was a thing.
Yes.
A while ago now. So yeah, it was instantly a game that we connected with, felt was quite it evokes a competitiveness. You wanted to beat your previous score, and it's being such a simple and well-known concept, it's easy to introduce anyone to the game. There isn't really a barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Anyone can get involved and anyone can try and beat your high score or beat their own high score. Yeah, and then
it has a real nostalgic quality to it as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And we loved the office setting. We thought we toyed with the idea of changing the scenario it was in, but as it was themed as a Christmas party anyway, we thought it's something maybe people take for granted, the office Christmas party, but every year it rolls around and it is fun. And it was the first year for a lot of people that they won't have been able to experience that in person. And so
Yeah, so this was a
In a
nice
Kwik Fit
concept.
spin on it with
Yeah,
our
totally.
branding. There's a few tyre stacks dotted around the office, which I can tell you actually we don't keep tyres stacked in the Kwik Fit office, but themed
And
on
not
theme
not
of the
with not
brand.
with tinsel on them either.
And yeah, obviously the characters wearing the famous Kwik Fit boiler suits as well. Just thought we were able to really get across our brand image quite well in this.
Yeah, it's a really nice one. It really lent itself to the concept as well, with obviously everybody being at home and having the Kwik Fit virtual party. So how did the competition work then? Did you have a competition that was associated with it?
Yeah, so we tend to do a fair bit of prize giveaways at Christmas. Throughout the year, we do obviously various offers and things like that. But at Christmas, we like to think of it as a time where it's not win a set of tires or something like that. Christmas is a time where people like to give gifts and like to receive gifts more than anything. And so it wasn't necessarily pushing our Kwik Fit agenda, if you like, but more giving something that might brighten up someone's Christmas. And so we were fortunate enough to get hold of a couple of Xboxes when they were released.
Nice.
Which by the time the game went live, they were like gold dust. Everyone was trying to get hold of them. So that
How did you
obviously, I
manage to
think,
bag a couple of those?
yeah, I have to shout out my colleague Kev for that. He was
Well
really
done,
on the
Kev.
ball when they came out. He knows a thing or two about gaming, and yeah, he had his finger on the pulse when when they released, and he was able
Yeah.
to get his hands on a couple of them, which obviously, yeah, hopefully made a couple of people's Christmas last year because they weren't available in the shops at the time we gave them away. And yeah, thought that fitted really well with the kind of online game theme anyway, to be giving away a games console. And then we also gave away a couple of Nintendo Switches and I think some Bluetooth speakers as well. So
That's great.
yeah,
And do you
the
think
sort
that
of
really,
prizes that are in demand at Christmas anyway, sort of gifts.
yeah, I was just going to say, do you think that really helped to kind of to boost your comms around it as well?
I think it did. Yeah, especially with sort of word of mouth um, communication, we can put our messaging out there as much as we want. But if somebody hears they can get this Xbox from a Kwik Fit game and they can't get it anywhere else, it was perhaps no surprise that we did so well.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the game itself obviously being so moreish, if you like,
I like
encouraged a
that
lot of
word.
players to stay there.
Absolutely. Just on that then, just on the promotion side of stuff, how did it fit? How did you promote it?
We promoted it mostly over social. I
Mhm.
think that was it particularly fit well within the demographic of people we thought would be accessing the game. Obviously, if you can see if you're on Twitter or Instagram and you can see our post, chances are you can click the link and access the game right there and then. So that was our main channel for pushing the activity. But yeah, we had some visibility on our website promoting it as well, and then also via CRM we sent out some emails to some of our customer database, and that saw some good traction as well.
Cool. And then just on terms of the social side, was it all organic or did you put some kind of paid promotion behind it at all?
There was a small amount of paid promotion, but mostly organic. There wasn't a
Yeah.
big budget behind it at all, and it did. We saw some really, really good results.
Awesome. So just in terms of the mechanics of it, then people play the game, they then kind of get over a certain score and then they submit their score, put their details in, so you're getting some data captured there as well. And then you also had, in addition to those amazing prizes, you had some voucher promotion in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we thought we didn't want with only a handful of prizes. We didn't want the majority of players to feel like they were playing and then leaving empty-handed.
Yeah.
So we had 3 score thresholds, which were challenging but achievable with a bit of practice. And by achieving each score, you could unlock a 5%, 7%, or 10% discount, which could then be used on sort of goods and services at Kwik Fit.
Awesome. That's a really good point as well about that. achievable with a bit of practice, because you don't want to give it away, do you? You kind of want to make people play and then just want to play again, just to kind of reach that threshold, because if you're giving it away too easily, you don't get that kind of achievement kind of hit that you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly that.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at some of the results then. I'll just quickly get these on for you. So 200, nearly half a million games completed.
Yeah, well, it's quite staggering, really. We didn't really know what to expect in terms of metrics, but I think it's safe to say this outperformed our expectations. 267,000 games played, and this was only live for roughly a month. So
yeah, and then a 20
really good engagement.
Yeah,
and 20-minute average playtime. So people were obviously, as you sort of alluded to before, with the challenging but achievable, people were really trying to beat their high scores and reach the next level, and submit the highest score possible.
And how did people respond to it on social? So you said most of your promotion was on social. How did people respond? Was there many additional conversations? Was there kind of comments?
Yeah, there was a fair bit of engagement with our with any posts we shared it on. There were positive responses, which obviously, being a company that operates so many centres nationwide, we often get a variety of responses which may or may not be relevant to the thing we are actually posting. So it was, I'd say it was much more positive intent than our average post.
That's amazing.
We also did some influencer activity as well, which I think I forgot to mention before. But the influencers actually had very positive feedback themselves and enjoyed filming the content.
So who did you send it out to then?
Oh, this is embarrassing, but I actually can't remember the name off the top of my head. There was a couple of a couple of micro influencers in the sort of UK gaming scene, and a couple in sort of health and well-being. But very positive response off the back of that. Yeah,
that's something that we've been talking about internally as well, just in terms of, starting to kind of send games out to influencers and gaining some traction. It seems to be like that is a good way to kind of leverage another audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a way to show the dynamics of the game in a way that would appeal to any of the audience, really, because we didn't have we had a lot of static screenshots going on in our own posts. But to show someone actually engaging with the game and playing it almost in real time, it was it showed another whole level to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, good stuff. And then just in terms of marketing opt-in rates, you mentioned that you did some CRM stuff as well, and obviously through social. So you had a 40% opt-in rate to marketing as well.
Which, that is a quite incredible number, particularly for a company in our industry. Repeat custom is huge for us. And so having as much as 40% opt-in to marketing, that's an amazing opportunity for us to convey the next great deals we have and the next opportunities for hopefully these customers to visit Kwik Fit in the future. And again, they'll be on the mailing list now for any future games we run as well, so they might be in with a chance of winning the next top prize.
That's it. And obviously it did so well, and this was obviously a B2C campaign for your main audience. It did so well that you rolled it out to other territories as well.
So we rolled it out to a couple of other territories. We rolled it out to our Dutch counterparts, Kwik Fit Holland. They loved the game when they played the English version, and the guys at Peek and Poke made it so easy to adjust it essentially with a separate script for the Dutch version. And it was very quick, very easy to to adapt it and create a whole second version, which was live in Holland. And I don't have the figures to hand, but I know they were very impressed with the performance that they had with that campaign. And then we also, for both versions, then rolled out a staff version because, well, generally our employees aren't permitted to enter our giveaways, just from a sense of fairness, really.
Yeah, of course.
If our giveaways were being won by internal colleagues, it probably wouldn't look very very legit that we're giving them away randomly.
Like, oh, Bradley's won again.
Yeah, oh, if only. Wouldn't have minded an Xbox last Christmas, but no, unfortunately not. So yeah, we ran a separate one on our intranet, which was for staff only. So the staff would have across the country, any ETEL employees, so Tyre Pros as well, Stapletons, were able to enter, and they had the same chances for the same Xbox, Switch, and I think it was a UE Mega Boom speaker. And that went down incredibly well. I think it was really good for staff feeling valued, really, for what they did, because so many of our staff, particularly the in-centre staff who haven't been able to work from home, it was a very hard year, 2020, and I think to be able to give something back for our staff as well as our customers was a really nice touch.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seemed like they really enjoyed it too. And we look at the engagement time.
An hour, 25 minutes. I wonder if some of the centre managers might have had a thing or two to say about that. But yeah, it went down really well, to the point where when we actually closed the game off, we did have a few emails from staff asking if we could put it back live because they wanted to beat their high score.
That's amazing.
Yeah, really, really positively received.
Fantastic. That's really good to hear. So how do game campaigns then compare to other digital campaigns in terms of engagement and in relation to your objectives?
In terms of engagement, I would say they, as you might imagine, probably perform quite a bit better than our typical campaign, if you like, just due to the nature of the game, really. I think the giveaway aspect helps too, but it's nice to be able to do something fun, whereas a lot of our digital content generally is very informative, or it's sort of practical for a specific moment, really. Like if we do a blog on what to do if you get a puncture on the motorway, there's a very select few people that's going to be relevant to, but for them it's going to be very relevant, whereas this was something nice because it was overarching and it was appealing to anyone. So I think from an engagement perspective, we saw great numbers, and it was an opportunity to kind of, I guess, show a bit of Kwik Fit's character and show that we do have a fun side. You know, we do want people to have fun as well as be safe, and it was a good opportunity to show a bit of that character that maybe we don't get to share with a lot of our serious content, if you like.
Yeah, and that's especially in a year like last year. I think it was just really important too, and I think this is true going forward as well. You know, it's one of those things where it's important to be the entertainment and not the interruption all the time. I think that's something that, you know, as kind of marketeers are looking to do more of, something that is more engaging, more entertaining, rather, and that will stop that scroll, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've been making more of a conscious effort lately, I think, to have a bit more of a fun presence in the social space, and to show a bit more of what Kwik Fit really is, not just a place you have to get towed to if you get a puncture.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about that kind of brand personality, isn't it? Definitely. So do you think that games and gamification elements will be something that you consider more regularly in your strategy going forward then?
I definitely wouldn't rule it out, especially based off the great performance we've seen, the great results we've seen off the back of this Christmas campaign. I think, yeah, we definitely will be going ahead with Christmas, more Christmas games in the future. But yeah, as the performance speaks for itself, if there's another occasion where a game feels suitable to convey the messaging and to and to get a message out there to our audience, then absolutely, I imagine we would be doing more of it.
Watch this space then, eh?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Bradley. That was a really nice kind of overview of what you did and how it worked for you. So I'm going to take a break there and just see if anybody has got any questions for either of us, for Bradley or for me. If you've got any questions about using games in your particular industry, do let me know in the Q&A. Somebody is in the chat there. Hello. Okay, so somebody did ask me a question ahead of time. So let me just get that up. Okay, so the question was, and it's a wider marketing related question, if you're up for that.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think is in store for 2022? What will be the trends and themes in your industry, do you think?
In our industry? Wow. Okay, so there's an awful lot of innovation going on in the automotive world at the moment, with obviously electric cars are becoming bigger and bigger, and they're not even something really new now. The amount of times you go out and see a Tesla nowadays, they're about as common as any other car.
Yeah.
So what's a real challenge for us is, how do we integrate with these futuristic systems? You know, cars are becoming more self-aware almost. Their internal machines can detect not just their tire pressure now, but so much more: their engine performance, how much their brake pads are wearing down, you know, to a crazy level. And so for us, it's making sure that we can not only work to maintain these systems, but whether there's a way we can sort of become integrated with the in-car technology to sort of, yeah, really add some value to drivers that are on the road. I think as well, something that we've launched lately is Kwik Fit Club, which is I don't know if anyone on the call will have heard of it. It's started to be marketed nationwide now, but it's essentially a subscription level service where you can sign up, you register your car, you'd have a health check, and then essentially it covers you for all of your tire repairs and replacements for the length of your cover. And you can also upgrade to include your servicing and MOT as well. And so I think it's part of a shift we're really pushing for at the moment, is to get drivers to think of car maintenance as more proactive than reactive. So a lot of the time, and myself, I'm guilty of this a lot of the time too. Yeah, people tend to leave their car until it needs fixing, rather than noticing the problems as they're starting to appear. And it's, most of the time, it's a lot cheaper to fix them when the signs first show than to wait for it to become a real repair job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of it ticks all the boxes. It's an affordable monthly subscription, and it means if something starts to go wrong and you're not sure, bring the car in, and it will be covered. If you think, oh, my tire looks a bit like it's starting to crack, bring it in and your tire is replaced free of charge. I think it could be a great opportunity for Kwik Fit and for drivers.
So if my car starts beeping at me and I don't know why, which happens, I can just bring it down.
It happens to all of us, but yeah, you know where to take it.
Fabulous. Okay, excellent. Well, there are no other questions, but if you have any questions afterwards, I know how these things go. Normally, you kind of go off and then you're like, oh, I wish I would have asked that question. You can just get in touch with us at hello@peek&poke.com, and if there are any questions directly to Bradley, send them over and I can forward them on to Bradley and get you an answer as well. So I think there's only one last thing for me to say, and a perfect opportunity for you to actually try a game. We've got a competition that has launched this week. It's a brand new, see if I can say this without getting my teeth out of my mouth. Festive flipping faces. So that is just launched, and you can win one of free £50 cinema vouchers. So you might be able to go and see the new James Bond on us. Have a go, have a play. If that scan doesn't work, I will send you an email after this anyway, so you can let us know. You can go on to peekandpoke.com, it's there as well, and our ready to go game service, which are essentially games that you can just add a logo in, perfect for quickly getting them done for Christmas because there's still time. That's at picnicallthek's.games. So you can find that competition there as well. So I think all that's left to say is thank you so much, Bradley. I actually really enjoyed that. That was very fun.
Too. Thank you for having me. Thanks for inviting me on.
No problem. It's an absolute pleasure. Good luck with your Christmas campaign this year. I hope it's a success, and hopefully we can catch up soon.
Yeah, good luck with the Christmas games yourself as well. I'm sure you'll be very busy this year.
Yes, fingers crossed. Take care, Bradley. Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for joining us. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.